girls wearing skirts or trousers. You may think it's trivial, but just to remind you, girls at a single-sex school in Merseyside will be able to wear trousers after a petition was signed by thousands of people, including quite a few celebrities. The head teacher at a Wirral Grammar School for girls has told parents that its uniform policy will be amended from September. There are lots of issues around that story because actually sometimes when people put things online, they go further. Anyway, maybe it's something that was already being discussed in the school, but now they will be able to wear trousers. It's not just in England, however. I just want to point out to you, in New South Wales, Australia, schoolgirls at the Presbyterian Ladies College in Sydney are not allowed to wear pants, trousers, and they want those strict rules dating back more than 100 years upturned. And then in Ireland, there's also the issue, a lot of the schools there won't allow, and they have more single-sex schools than virtually anywhere else, but a lot of the girls still are not allowed to wear trousers. Now, you might think this is trivial, but when I was doing some research for this, I looked at the figures at the numbers of girls riding bikes to school. And, we've been talking about traffic around the school run and what have you, and getting more kids to exercise. But skirts inhibit things like cycle riding, and far more boys and girls, when they're allowed to wear trousers, will ride their bikes to school. So it might sound a little bit, what are they going on about? But skirts by nature inhibit girls' movement. And is it all about, somebody called it the ritualized girling of young women? I mean, what is that all about? So I thought I'd look more into this. Tabitha Morton joins us, and Tabitha is deputy leader for the Women's Equality Party. Tabitha, a lot of people would think this whole thing about should girls be allowed to wear trousers to school as fairly trivial. Is it?
It's certainly not trivial for many of the reasons that you've just pointed out. From such an early age, we set these binaries for young boys and girls about, what toys to play with, what books to read, what programs, and what clothes to wear. And it sort of really defines quite narrowly and quite dangerously, we believe, as to what a boy or girl should be. And then also it starts to feed into like what careers they should go into, what qualifications they should do, what subjects they should study. So I think it's really dangerous to start imposing and controlling our young women and young men in this way.
Yeah, but one of the things I pointed to is the restrictions of wearing a skirt, all the things that a girl cannot do and cannot learn because of wearing a skirt.
Yeah. I mean, the Women's Equality Party, our policy is for gender-free uniforms. So if girls want to wear ties and trousers, they should be able to wear ties and trousers. If they want to wear skirts, it should be flexible to be able to do this. And I know during the pandemic, for example, many schools have been asking their kids to come in sportswear because they haven't been able to change. That's meant, if the sportswear isn't tracksuits, then girls are having to go into school in gym slips, and it's just, and I can't believe in 2021 we're still having this conversation. The school should be a place where we are fostering the future generations to be who they are, to make the changes they want to make, and to be the identities they want to be as young people. And to force, girls to wear skirts if they don't want to me is just a very old-fashioned idea.
Okay, so let me turn this on their head. Are boys allowed to wear skirts if they want, if they decided they're non-binary, for instance?
If they want to, yeah. If they absolutely want to, it's who are we to start telling children how to dress and how to be? I think the uniform is a start, but also we need to look at our curriculum. We need to look at how the role models that we're setting for our young people. Are we just talking about, old white men in history? We need to be talking about the rich history that we've got, people of colour, queer people, women who have set and lit the world up in our history, but we don't hear about any of them. And going back to sport as well. I know we're talking about a single sex school on the Wirral, but where we've got both sexes in school, which sports teams are celebrated the most? Is it the boys' teams that are celebrated, or the girls' teams that are celebrated? So, uniform's one part of this, but the curriculum's another. Where boys and girls go to school together, who's celebrated for their sports? This is sort of a subtle thing but it goes through everything else in a young person's life.
And it struck me about, when I was bringing up my kids, I put them in trousers because I hated seeing little boys with little girls and mummy saying to the little girl, "You'll get your dress muddy," while the little boy climbed up a tree. So, and I wanted my children to be able to roll in the mud and climb up a tree. Mm-hmm. So it's about restricting girls' physicality as well.
Absolutely, yeah. If you think about, why shouldn't girls want to play football, want to play rugby, or any of those things? Because in so many schools still, even sports are gendered. You're discouraged saying that you should play hockey or you should play this, and boys and girls are quickly forced not to play with each other in these sports as well. So I think we need to take sort of this gendering of everything away, and as I said, really let children be what they want to be, because they are our future.